Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dec and Dan Discuss Arrow, Episode 4. In this episode, we're going to be discussing Season 1, Episode 4 of Arrow, of course. But before we dive into the episode itself, I thought it was about time that we talk about The Flash from this week. We're not going to be talking about Legends, because neither of us have seen it. I couldn't find it. I did try and watch it this morning, but I couldn't find it, so I have, it's out of my hands. But, The Flash this week, episode 17, otherwise entitled Liberation. Pretty solid episode overall. I think it continues the strong streak that Flash has had in this back half of the season. I do have quite a lot of issues, not issues, they're more nitpicks than anything with the writing of this episode. There are a few things throughout it that really niggled me.
But, there's just certain character decisions that were just a bit...
Yeah, and there's some really weird stuff. I mean, the opening alone is really weird. It just opens, and we see this massive machine that Cisco's apparently built out of nowhere.
Yeah, it feels like we've kind of missed an episode there. I saw that and I just thought, when?
Because literally last week Cisco was like, oh yeah, I need to run some tests, but I don't need to be there, so it's chill. I didn't realise he built an entire massive machine at home, just sat there. But whatever, that was weird. Also, the whole concept of the mirror people calling each other like brother and sister and mother, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Cool idea, I like it, but it just... Given the fact that we've had Mirror Iris since basically the entire back half of this season, and she's never referred to Eva as mother before, I was like, where's this come from?
Yeah, it kind of feels like just something they shoved in really late. If it was something they'd actually bothered to explore earlier on, maybe I could buy into it, but it's like they do it in this episode, and this is near the very end of us seeing the mirror version of Iris, so it's just yeah.
And I think it's
very
super
odd.
cool, to be honest. I think it's a cool idea. I like that concept, but it just come out of nowhere. I was just like, where's this? Because if it was a thing, say if Sing started saying it, we haven't seen Sing as the Mirror character for a while, but Mirror Iris has never referred to Eva as mother before, so it was just really strange. Also, I mean, this does kind of get explained, but it's just when you have Sing and Camilla coming around to Iris's place, placing all these mirrors everywhere, I'm like, what's going on? I mean, it does get explained, obviously, because they're using it for that fight scene, and it's a really cool fight scene, to be fair, but how did Iris know that Barry was going to have a fight with her in there? How did she know that?
Yeah, that kind of stuff just, no. I mean, unless she was really intelligent and was like, oh, I'm going to deliberately kick the Flash out because he'll come back here and figure out. It's just very convenient.
Yeah.
Just a lot of conveniences in this episode, even though, like I said, I thought it was a good episode.
Or was she just decorating and it just happened to be a happy coincidence? She was just decorating the flat with a bunch of mirrors.
When you leave mirrors in the places that she left them, I highly doubt that it's redecorating.
Okay, and the final writing problem I have 4. They were I've done 3. This is the 4th one. This is more of a bigger one than the others. Iris's death, or the Mirror Iris's death, was so weird to me, because in this episode they introduced this idea of, oh, I just want to be human, and I've never felt this alive, and I want to feel alive, and stuff like that, and this has never been brought up.
No.
I get why they did it. They're trying to do this emotional thing so you feel some kind of impact when she dies. But, it just didn't work because they've never... before this point, this version of Iris has literally just been a subservient clone to Eva.
Yeah.
And now she's like, oh, I want to be human, I want to be alive. So I was just like, well, you didn't say that last week.
Yeah, it's almost like whoever wrote this episode saw Blade Runner right before they wrote it and was just like, oh, yeah, let's just do this. Oh,
it feels like this... In fact, that's a good point. It feels like this writer hasn't wrote or hasn't been in on the entire season. It's like someone gave her someone gave them fucking post-it notes of just things from the season, talk about that, and she's just making up stuff on the spot.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, as she gets towards the end, she realizes, oh, we're meant to be ending this. Oh.
Yeah. It just feels really strange to me. I was just where's this come from? If they had built this up over a couple episodes, I think that would have worked quite well. It would have been quite a good development for that character, to make her separate from Iris. But it's just the way it comes out in this episode, just to kind of try and make you care about it, was really, really strange. I don't know.
Very, very odd.
I don't really get it, but whatever. It was kind of interesting, I suppose. Also, did you see the scene before they start fighting. Oh no, this is after the fight, and Iris is like on top of Barry.
Yeah,
that's really weird. Like that's a really weird scene. Like I don't know whose decision that was. I don't know if that was the director or if it was Candice Patton. I don't know who chose that. I'm guessing it was the director. But like, it's just a really strange decision. Like she's just like on top of him. It's kind of sexy and it's kind of weird. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like the way she's talking to him and smiling on it, like she's like on top of him on all fours. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's a very, very strange moment, man.
Like, you know, I was like, this is kind of sexy. I was like, this is the sexiest Flash has ever been. So what the hell's going on?
This is one hell of an episode.
It really is. A lot goes down in this episode. But we have Barry investigating Iris, which, I mean, obviously after the last episode, Barry finally was like, oh, she isn't an Iris. So we had to go and work all that. I have to say though, I really like the twist where they use the prismatic refractor on Iris and it doesn't work, and they use it on Barry and it does work.
Yeah, but then the thing I know GG Eric pointed this out as well on page he has, but when that happened and then everyone was like, oh well, I guess it's a done case. I was like, well, what if you just use it on somebody else and it's the exact same? And then eventually people would click, all right, why is it not working on Iris?
Yeah.
That really frustrated me about that scene. That was just felt like a real inconvenience to the plot. Like they had that specifically just so they could make everybody else think that, oh, Barry's just going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense.
There is like that logic behind it, but then I also found the twist really interesting because I didn't because when that happened, I was literally sat there for like a solid 2 minutes trying to figure out what just happened. Like, because I was trying to piece together in my head, who's this Barry, or is it actually Barry? Like, what's going on? I was like, because it couldn't be Iris, or I was like, is it Eva, like reflecting herself as Barry? I was like, what's going on? But yeah, it was actually, I thought it was a pretty cool twist. Although I still don't understand the logic behind. So did she basically make a mirror reflection of the prismatic refractor? So it was like
I think so. I don't know.
It was like the opposite, like mirror opposite of the refractor. I'm guessing that's what it was. I thought it was kind of cool though. But yeah, it is kind of they could have definitely done a bit more investigating on that front. Then we had like Iris's mission, which this was probably the most interesting thing in the episode, and unfortunately, because I was an idiot and I went on Twitter, I got this spoiled for me. But Bloodwork returns in this episode, which was really cool, because Bloodwork, I think, was an awesome villain in the first half. And we have Sendhil Ramamurthy return to play him. And they basically need a bit of his blood to fix the mirror so Eva can get out. Camilla just full-on yeets herself into the wall and commits suicide. I love how nonchalant she does it. This is what I mean. Like, when it comes back to like the Iris death thing feeling like weird. Because, as I said, up until this point, Iris has just been, oh yeah, Eva, I'll do whatever, you know, I'm your clone, you know.
And then all of a sudden it's almost as if now she's gaining her own emotions and stuff like that.
And then you've got Camilla yeeting herself into a wall because she doesn't care. She's just it's just success is the shortest part of the mission. See ya.
Again, it's stuff like that where I just kind of think, did this writer not pay attention to the whole plot line of the season related to Eva and the mirror clones?
Also, it's
like, well, that's the thing. Given that Mirror Iris dies in the episode, and we still know that, you know, obviously, the real Iris trapped in the mirror world is still alive.
But
you'd have to assume this.
Have we ever? I don't think we've ever seen her in the mirror dimension. We've never seen her.
Maybe they just couldn't get the actress. I don't know.
But she's in the episode.
Yeah, but maybe they just had her for a limited amount of time.
I
don't know. I genuinely don't have a clue. Like I say, I genuinely think the writer for this episode didn't follow this storyline for the whole season and watched Blade Runner right beforehand and was like, "Oh yeah, let's just you know, copy of this homework. Just don't make it too obvious." And then they realized that this storyline hasn't been set up at all. Oh shit! We'll just leave it in anyway.
Like a sore thumb. Because this episode really does. Like, I've seen like loads of people praising this episode, and yeah, it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. I still think it fits, you know, pretty much the pattern of the season, but in regards to quality. But I was also just like, but I do think it is a step down from a writing standpoint. Like, I think there's so many problems because I'm not like the writing expert either. Like, I'm not someone to poke holes in writing or anything like that. But if I'm able to do it, that means there's a problem. That means there's a big problem. If I'm able to identify issues with the Flash writing, then you know there's some problems going on. It was cool to see Bloodwork though.
Yeah, Bloodwork coming back was nice. It was a nice surprise because I didn't know that he was going to be in this.
Yeah, it would have been amazing if that wasn't spoiled for me. Because to be fair, like I woke up and I checked YouTube initially, and I saw Paige's review, and Paige just says spoiler returns, and I to be honest, I just assumed it was Godspeed, like because obviously we know Godspeed's in the next episode, so I assumed it was Godspeed. So I didn't think there was going to be any big returns in this episode because we didn't know Bloodwork was in this. There was no news about it. I don't think there was any rumors or anything like that. Like, it was kind of a big surprise. So I had just assumed like it was the post-credit scene. It was Godspeed. So when I went on Twitter, I didn't really have any fear. But then I saw Bloodwork. I was like, shit. But cool to see him though, and I like the fact that like he's just kind of sat there in the cell and he's like, oh yeah, I'm playing the long game, which basically means I'll see you later. So Bloodwork is going to return. Well, actually, is he going to return? Because here's the question: when he says that, does that mean he was going to return in this season at some point, or does that mean he was going to return next season? Because obviously, I
think it's got to be later. I think it's definitely got to be sometime later this season.
But then my question is: have they filmed anything for that?
And definitely not. Definitely not.
So yeah, that line is kind of silly and kind of pointless. But again, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Cool though. I liked having him there. And I mentioned it earlier, but the Barry and Iris fight I actually really liked. It's kind of a dumb idea, but I thought it was really well done.
It's a bit dumb, and Mirror Iris all of a sudden turns into the T-1000. And I was just thinking, like, where has this been set up before? Like, her arms just turning into blades, like the T-1000. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a cool set piece. Like, obviously, how she was able to use all the mirrors to basically just constantly keep on stabbing Barry. And then the scene, obviously, where she had the mirror above, and then obviously smashes it, and then, yeah, it was cool. But when I think about it, I don't know. It's fun, but when I think it's basically Rise of Skywalker syndrome. It's fun to watch, but then when you actually start to think about it, there's a lot of holes in this.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of holes.
Yeah, there's some big Chewie getting medals in this. I mean,
some big somehow Palpatine return medals in this as well.
I mean, Bloodwork returned, but at least there was a pretty solid explanation.
Yeah, unlike Palpatine.
Unlike Sheev. I just love calling him Sheev. It just makes him so less intimidating when it's just like, Sheev. Somehow Sheev's returned. And I only found out his name was Sheev like last year. I was like, I never knew that beforehand. And then the final sort of thing to talk about is Eva does actually get out at the Mirror World, so she's now out and about going after Carver. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, not really a lot happens when she gets out. She just sort of gets out and then does one. But yeah, that's that's it.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
It's just like well. I just think there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened. There's just a lot of stuff that I think in terms of moments, the episode worked really well. Like, it did a really good job of progressing the story and that in that way. But I think it's just something where you kind of look deeper into it, and there's just a few things that either don't make sense or feel a little bit out of place. And I think this is probably the first episode where I've really felt like that with The Flash for quite a while, because I think this season I haven't really had that kind of a problem, to be perfectly fair. So, no, I still enjoyed it, and obviously still looking forward to the last two episodes. But yeah, there was definitely some problems with this one. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't perfect. I just found like I just kept finding like as it was going on, and as I was making my notes for my review, I was just like, there's a lot. There's a lot wrong with this.
Yeah. And
I haven't really said that this season. So that's kind of a shame. But we do have Arrow for this week, which is obviously episode 4 of season 1, as I mentioned earlier. And
entitled An Innocent Man. See, you don't remember these titles at all. You're clearly not as much of a nerd as me.
No, because do you know why? It's because when I watched Arrow the first time, so I binged the first 4 seasons back to back. So I don't remember these episodes very well, in the sense that I can't tell you, like, if you said to me, for example, oh, what happened in season 3, episode 9? That's not a good example. Season 3, episode 16, right? I wouldn't be able to tell you right now. But if you said to me, season 5 onwards, if you said, "Oh, what happened in 6, 7?" I'd be like, "Oh, that episode's Thanksgiving. That's where Oliver got arrested. That's where he was taken away from William, stuff like that." Like,
so, why would you pick that episode? That is so shit.
It's just what came to my head. But like,
you disappoint me.
But it's like, because I watched those episodes as they were coming out on TV, and as I was making reviews for them, I had the time to reflect and think about them a lot. So I remember them individually, whereas these episodes I don't. But I am kind of enjoying the fact that now I can do that with these episodes. But yes, an innocent man, and the innocent man in question is someone very close to my own heart, Mr. Peter Declan, or as he's commonly referred to as Declan throughout the entire episode, which I appreciate. Look, here's the thing. You have an extremely common name. I don't. So this is the thing. Anytime that I get a slight name reference to anything, it's very exciting. Because it's not common, so it's quite fun.
But it was a last name of Declan, not first name.
Yeah, but they all call him Declan in this episode. He's just
so
it counts.
The stretch.
Counts.
The stretch is real.
But I can tell that you love this storyline because it's just full of Laurel. It's Laurel. Of
course. What gave that away?
This is like a big lawyer episode. Like, this has like a lot of like law stuff going on, which Arrow does quite a bit, especially in these early seasons. But like, this was like our first taste of it, really.
Yeah.
But Laurel gets some good stuff in this. I do enjoy her kind of, because this is where she first meets Oliver as the Hood as well, which is exciting, and we get them sort of working together.
Oh yeah.
So, and I like the fact that Oliver's just like helping her out, especially because Oliver gets like kind of brutal, and it's like when he gets that guy on the rail tracks and he just like has him.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I forgot how brutal that was. I was like, that's terrifying. Like, you would like, I like the way like. There's no messing about there either. Like, he confesses like straight away because you would, like, you absolutely would. So I really enjoyed all the stuff with Peter Declan. I think it's a really cool story in this.
Yeah, it was a cool story. It was kind of a nice subversion of expectation because of the fact that obviously rather than it just being Oliver going after someone to obviously kill him and take a name off the list, he's also obviously trying to save someone else in the process, as well as obviously trying to frame what was his name? Jason Brodeur, I think that was the guy's name. Yeah, get him obviously sent away for his crime. So I like that as well because it added another aspect to the story of the episode as well and mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool story because again, it as you say, it does take him away from the list and stuff like that, which was it does kind of show where the filler comes in, but it's still to fill out those 22 episodes.
But it's the kind of filler that I honestly you don't groan at, because of the fact that it's obviously still quite early on, and especially when it's this early on in a show, you're seeing it helps to kind of show you all the different aspects of a certain character because like Oliver, like you say, is pretty brutal in this episode. Like he has the bit where he almost like lets a guy just get run over by a train, and there's the scene when he's obviously getting Declan out of the prison, and he absolutely beats one of the guards to a pulp because obviously he was about to kill Laurel.
Yeah.
And there's that whole speech that Laurel says to Quentin afterwards, was like, "Oh, he's a killer. I could see it in his eyes." And I couldn't help but think of season 5 in that regard, which I think just kind of shows how good, like in retrospectively, season 5 did to establish that Oliver truly is a killer.
Yeah.
Because that scene works really well on its own, but I just feel like after watching season 5 and then you watch season 1 again and you see him go through this, and that's something I've noticed during this rewatch. It adds so much more layers to Oliver in that first season.
Yeah, it does. It's really cool, and I do enjoy, like, because you do see, like, I like the fact that obviously when he goes and rescues Laurel, you kind of have, he's in the ski mask, which looks kind of silly, but you do have...
it definitely looks silly.
But, like, they do leave his eyes poking out, which, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Laurel could have noticed that was Oliver at that point. Like, I mean, his baby blue eyes are very distinguishable. And then I get that she was kind of terrified and probably in shock, but also, like, come on. But still, cool stuff. However, my favourite character in the entire Arrowverse shows up here, which is Rob the Bodyguard.
He was so funny.
Rob is just the best. Like, every time I watch this episode, he makes me laugh so much. It's the moment where... It's the moment where they go into Big Belly Burger and he just goes, "Area secure, sir." And he goes, "Thank you very much, Rob." Like, it's just the way he takes everything so seriously, and Oliver just goes super serious back to him. It's just hilarious. Yeah,
I forgot how funny this episode. This is probably one of the funniest episodes I can remember for a while. Like, this episode, oh my god. Yeah. I think especially because of Rob, because like you say, you've got the you got the bit where Oliver gets introduced to him, and he's like going over all these details that he's done, and Oliver's just like, I feel safe already.
Yeah.
And then the bit where after he's talked to Diggle and Big Belly, and then he runs off, and the guy's just waiting there, and Diggle's like, oh, he's long gone.
He's gone, dude. And it's the bit where like he's just like he just flies past him on the bike and like salutes him as he goes past. I just love Rock. I wish they would have brought him back at some point, just like a random cameo. It would have been so funny.
Yeah,
he's just such a good character. Like, he's only here in this one episode, isn't he? But he's just like he's hilarious. I love him.
Oh, it's all right. He became a legend after this one episode. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he went down in Arrow history as a true legend. We also have Walter doing a fair amount of investigating. I miss Walter, man.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they never brought him back in like the later seasons.
Yeah, well, I think I read somewhere I think Guggenheim got asked about this recently, and I think apparently it was because he was just too busy with other projects.
Yeah,
which is weird because which is weird because the only thing I've seen him in after this was I think London Has Fallen. That's the only thing I've seen him in since Arrow. So when I hear that he's been busy, I just think, what? I haven't seen him in anything else.
He was on Krypton.
Oh, was he in Krypton?
Yeah, he plays Zod on Krypton.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he plays, and he's in loads of stuff. Like if you go on his IMDb, he's in loads of shit.
Oh, I'm not that clever. I mean, there's a reason I've watched London Has Fallen.
Colin Salmon's filmography.
Nah, I'd rather stick to the amazing Has Fallen franchise. To be perfectly honest.
Yes, Angel Has Fallen, which has the greatest post-credit scene of all time.
Oh, Angel Has Fallen is amazing, bro.
God tier movie.
Nick Nolte, mate. Bloody Nick Nolte.
Where's his Oscar? By the time the Oscars come around next year, they might actually need to nominate Nick Nolte because they're not going to have many options.
True.
But I did enjoy all the Walter stuff. I just miss him, man. Like he's such a nice. He just seems like the coolest, chillest, most nice guy. You just want him to be a dad. Like he's just like he seems super cool. And like I like in this episode, like he just starts. This is where he starts to become suspicious of Moira. And even like Felicity, I completely forgot Felicity was in this episode. Like I forgot like she returns immediately the episode after. I didn't think that was this episode. I thought that was 5.
No, I knew she was in this one, but I knew she was only in like 2 scenes.
Yeah, they just bring her back immediately. But again, Felicity's cool at this point.
Yeah, Felicity is actually funny in this episode, unlike season 3 and 4 where she is shit.
Yes, so we have all this good stuff, and then we also have Oliver being arrested, which is a great scene.
That was just such a great cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's a great scene. I love just having. It's the way they all just bust in the house and then it's just arrested.
Like zero fucks given. Just like, oh no chill about this, man. We're just gonna arrest him.
That's the thing. I love Quentin at this point in the show where he just like it's the way like Walter's like you can't just bust in here. He's like, well, I have a badge and a gun that says otherwise, and he just sort of walks straight past. Even though I'm pretty sure you do. In fact, no. Well, I guess they had sufficient evidence, I suppose. But yeah, it was still really good just to see them bust in the house like that because I think it's super cool. And it kind of brings it back to into season 7 and stuff like that where we had when was it? When did we have that thing where we speculated about us seeing this scene again because Oliver was wearing the same jumper?
Oh,
do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now what episode we said. What season was it?
I said 7 initially, but that doesn't sound right to me.
It sounds more like season 8, to be honest. If it was going to be anything, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember like us theorizing and talking about this. It was like, oh, because he's wearing the exact same thing he wore when he went to prison initially.
Shit, I don't know. I can't remember.
We'll have to look up later, but
I can't remember. That's going to give me something to do now after we stop recording this.
Yeah, because there was something. I don't know why I brought it up because now I'm just stumped and I'm completely throwing myself for a loop on a complete tangent. But still, there is something. But also something I'd like to mention as well. One of my favorite pieces of music from Blake Neely debuts in this episode, which is "Chasing the Hood."
Oh yeah,
which is in the prison escape. I love that. I love that music. I think it's awesome.
Mate, Blake Neely's music is just always amazing. Yeah, I'm just surprised it's taken us till the 4th episode to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very apparent to me as well because that song was used in one of the season 5 trailers. That's where I remember it specifically. And yeah, so it's just like a super cool piece of music. It's super intense and it's really good for action scenes. It works really well.
Yeah. Might have to steal that now for my ranking video.
Yeah, why not? And then the final scene, we finally get introduced to John Barrowman as Malcolm Merlin.
Beautiful man. Beautiful man.
Sexy man. Moira gets into the limo and he's there. And I love the realization. Like, I like the fact that he just kind of goes through, he's like, come on, Moira, do you not see the connection here? He's targeting the list. I like the fact he references the list, like, it's cool. Especially because this is when the conspiracy really starts to come through with Arrow. And this is why I love Season 1. This is why I love the story of Season 1, is that you kind of think initially it's just going to be this vigilante thing, but then you realize, oh, this list that he's targeting actually isn't just a list of bad people. Like, it actually all means something. Like, it has this connection, and this is where you start to see. Because even in this episode, like, Walter goes to the warehouse like that, and he finds the wreckage of the Queen's Gambit, and then you find out, you know, the list was all part of the undertaking. So I just love this this conspiracy that starts to come up in this season.
Yeah, it's like I say, it is cool. It's nice because they have a plot that's very simplistic. It's very easy to follow, but then, like you say, as you go on throughout the season, they add more layers to it, and then you realize how far that it reaches out and the real purpose of it. Yeah, it's cool. Even though I do think season 2 is still better, I do enjoy season 1's. I'm trying not to throw shade on your favorite season because I know you love this season. Yeah, with a passion.
It's just, for me, like, what does it for me with this? Because even though I think Season 2 is great, obviously, it has an amazing villain, I think it does a lot more for the characters. Particularly in the case of, like, Laurel and Slade and Roy, Sarah. What I love about this season, it's just the story. It's just the revelation of it all. Like, it's the way it all kind of comes together and the way it ends as well. Because I remember the ending completely shocked me when I watched it the first time. As someone who hadn't really watched a lot of TV, when that ending, I was like, oh my lord. Because I thought, like, I have to, you know, fair dues to Arrow, because I was actually like, oh, yeah, there's this threat that the city's going to get blown up, but it'll be fine. Be fine. No worries. And then, you know, big hole in the city. But,
But although, to be fair, I'm going to be honest, when I first watched this episode back in 2012, and then I saw John Barrowman show up, I completely lost my mind when it happened, because obviously anybody who watches this probably doesn't know, I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who and Torchwood. And obviously that's like kind of the thing that John Barrowman like kind of got his big break in. So then I had no idea that he was in this. So that when I just saw him pop up at the end of the episode, I just lost it. Because I mean, who doesn't love John Barrowman? John Barrowman's just such a beautiful man. I think anybody could fall for him. No one could resist his charms.
No, I mean, I've met him as well. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. He gave me a big old hug when I met him. Yeah, he's great. He's the best. So that's basically everything I have. What do you have for this episode?
I will actually say for this episode, the flashbacks, I quite enjoy the flashbacks.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention it.
Yeah, because like you say, this is kind of, for me, the point where the flashbacks start to pick up, because in this you kind of see Oliver go through his, I guess you could call it his first kill, even though it's just a duck. And then obviously killing that, and obviously getting a bit more of Yao Fei and all that. Again, I found him really funny. I just kept on saying "shun shun," and then Oliver's just like, "What?" And then by the end of the episode, he just casually reveals, like, "Oh yeah, I can speak English. I just chose not to piss you off."
Yeah.
But no, I love Yao Fei. I love Yao Fei so much.
My boy Byron.
But yeah, from here onwards, for me, from what I can remember of my last rewatch, this is like really where the flash forward. No, why am I saying flash forward? Stop saying that. Flashbacks. Really. No, I fucking despise the flash forwards. No. This is for me where the flashbacks really start to get a lot more interesting. It's kind of from this point onwards, because the first 3 episodes are pretty slow, but from here onwards, this is where they really start to ramp up in terms of story. So no, I quite enjoyed them this week.
Yeah, I do enjoy them. I think that, you know, just having... Is Byron a regular in this?
Nah, I'm pretty sure he's only mentioned as recurring.
He should be a regular, because he's the best.
He should have been regular for all the seasons.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. Oh my god, imagine he like got off the island with Oliver and just came back as like a member of Team Arrow for like the entire show.
Beautiful. That'd be beautiful.
But then again, we probably wouldn't have got him on Wu Assassins, so I can't really complain.
No, look, Declan, just accept it. Wu Assassins is not getting a second season.
Hey, you don't know that because
because what? Have you announced it yet? No.
Let me explain. There's two hints. Byron himself, on Christmas Day, no less, said, because someone tweeted him saying, "Oh, the best Christmas gift I could ask is for Wu Assassins to get ready for season 2. And Byron retweeted it and said, "Santa heard your prayers," right?
Yeah, but that doesn't. But Santa's not. But Santa's not real. Santa's not real.
He is. His name's Byron. And secondly, Louis Tan, who plays, of course, the wonderful Liu Shen on.
Yeah, but he's too busy on other stuff.
No, Mortal Kombat's done filming now. So
yeah, but he might have something else afterwards.
He doesn't. So we have that. And he said, in recent news, big news coming soon, #Wu Assassins.
Yeah, they're going to announce an animated series.
Don't care. I'll take that. I'll take that. That'll be a really good animated. But now, it's coming. It's coming. It took us a long time to get season 2 of Altered Carbon. It's coming. It's coming.
No, it didn't take this long. It did not take this long.
It's coming. Trust me.
Wu Assassins has been out now for almost, a year. We've had no confirmation of season 2. I'm sorry.
It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. Because you know what it is, though? The cast of Wu Assassins is very busy. Like, because they got, like, quite big, like, Eco's always doing stuff. Byron's in everything. Catherine Winnick is still, like, she's practically the lead of... That's probably what it is. It's probably Catherine Winnick who's holding it up, to be honest. Because she's practically the lead of Vikings now. And they're still going. Like, it's probably Catherine, to be honest, who's holding it up. Like, not holding it up, like, oh, she's not holding it up.
I'm about to say, you point your fingers now.
No. I'm not pointing any bloody fingers. But it's, no, it's just because she is basically the lead of another show. So it's probably why. But still, it's going to happen. Don't worry. Chill out. Don't worry about it. It's going to be cool. So, what would you give this? Oh, no, I'm going first, aren't I?
Yeah, you got to go first so you can't copy my score. That's how it goes.
Okay, well, I have a feeling that no matter what I say here, you're just going to change your score accordingly.
No. I will even send you photographic evidence of my score.
You could write that down after I've said it, though.
No.
I don't know if I trust you here.
Absolute bollocks.
Okay, fine. Here we go. I'll give this episode an 8 out of 10.
I've got 8 out of 10 written down as well.
Of course you do.
I do!
No, to be fair, I fully expected you to write 8 out of 10 for this.
What, just because it had Oliver and Laurel moments in it?
Absolutely, yeah. And see, here's all these people who want to say that Felicity was foreshadowed. There's more sexual tension in this episode between Felicity and Walter than there is between Felicity and Oliver.
Absolutely true.
Not even laughing because it's true. Yeah, good episode. I liked it a lot. Again, obviously, I get to make my cameo appearance, which is nice. And we get Rob.
Your cameo appearance, God.
In name form.
Is this you still being salty about the fact that you weren't cast in that crap Fantastic Beasts film?
Oh, yeah. I forgot I was in contention. I completely forgot about that.
How did you forget about that? You were bragging about that when you were allowed to talk about it. You would not stop mentioning it.
To be honest, though, I'm really glad I wasn't because I hated the second one.
Exactly. But, and then it would have just given more ammunition for me to take the piss out of you.
Yeah, it was really bad. Real bad. But yeah, good episode overall. I enjoyed it. We get Rob, which, to be honest, is just the greatest gift of all. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, just a very good episode. Very much enjoy it. But the real shit is happening in the next episode, which I cannot wait to review. Because it's probably one of my favorite. Oh yeah, because it's probably one of my favorite episodes of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
so yeah, the big dig. The big dig is coming.
Very, very excited. Anyways,
that's what they should have just titled the episode, not call it Damage, just put the big dig. That should have been the title.
It's much better. It's much more fitting.
Oh yeah.
So that is that wraps up everything for this week's episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like, subscribe, share it around with any other fans, and also make sure you let us know your thoughts on this episode in the comments down below. And as always, I've been Dec.
I have been Dan.
Bit of a pause there. And I hope to see you guys again in the next episode.
See ya.
Hoss.